Hey guys, welcome to Herding Little Cows to the Glory of God. We homeschool and we don't do games as our official school, like game schooling or anything like that, but we use a lot of games in our day. We got a chance to collaborate with Clever Fox Play. They sent us some games, and so one of those is reviewed in here, but I also show you a card game we play, some word games we play, just to show you some of the things we do to vary up school and to just have fun with the kids. I hope you enjoy.
So this video is a little different than our normal videos. I'm doing a voiceover, but as you can see, we had some snow that day. So the first game we're going to play is a game that we call Garbage. I'm playing here with Gideon, who's 3, and Josiah, who is 12. And in this game, you'll see that we each have 10 cards that are laid out in front of us. And we have one pile in the middle, and you flip over the top card from that pile. You will then take that card from the middle pile and you will place it where it goes. I'll show Gideon how to count. So I'm asking him if he wants the 3 that is laid down on the floor. He does. And so I help him count 1, 2, 3. And he's going to put that number that he picked up, that 3, in its space. And then he looks and he sees a 10. So I help him count 1, 2, 3. We keep going. Kings are wild, and kings can be used anywhere to fill a spot of an unflipped over card. And if you end up picking up that card, so let's say you put your king in the 6th place and then you do pick up a 6, you can trade it out and use your king in another spot. So we really like this game because it teaches kids their numbers. Even for little ones like this, before he could recognize his numbers, I could tell him, and it was a game that he could play alongside an older sibling. I said that kings are wild, like Josiah is using there, and now he's replacing it. Queens and jacks are garbage, and if you do not want the card that you picked up, it is also considered garbage and it goes in the pile. But like there, I wanted that card because I needed to fill that spot. So you continue going around, picking up cards, deciding if you want it. If it's garbage, you throw it in the pile at the end. When you get to the end of the game, you get to the end of the game when one person finishes filling up all 10 spots with cards that are flipped over. But then we continue going and let each person have another full turn so that they can see if they'll win also. This game is great because, like I said, the little ones can play it, but it's not boring for the big ones. I don't mind playing this game. If you're a mom and you have kids who get stuck on one game, you know that it can get boring and you're like, please, let's not do that game. This game is also pretty fast. I know that there are games like War. We have some children who like War, and that can go on for a long, long time. Or board games like Monopoly, and that type of thing can go on for a very long time. So here's Gideon filling up his spots. Again, I just help him to keep counting. I show him where he needs to start with his 1, 2, 3, and he does pretty good with the counting himself. But we probably started playing this with him when he was about 2. He's a little over 3 now. But again, he can have his own cards. He can feel like he's actually playing the game even if you're helping him count through it. And it's also very nice because it's an easy game to teach other people. I know my kids like to play games with friends when they come over, but if it's friends that haven't played a game, sometimes it can be hard. It takes the whole time to teach them the rules of the game rather than playing the game. There we all finished, and we actually all finished on that turn, so that was fun. Okay, this game is by Clever Fox Play. They sent me the game and just asked me to do a review on it. So we got the game, and now we have played a couple times. The board is very, very well made. All the pieces feel very sturdy. So you have 5 areas: the North Pole, the desert, the ocean, the jungle, and the mountains. And as you go through the game, if you land on a star, you are going to pick up one of those challenge cards. But the dice, there are 3 dice. There's a number, 2 number dices, 1 through 6. And then there's a plus or minus dice. And so you roll the dice, you add or subtract the numbers, and then you count that many spots. This game is great for my 7 and 9-year-old for just math practice. Oh, actually the 5-year-old too, because he actually knows his addition facts. A lot of times I don't have to lay out the dice like this, but this is for the youngest one who's 3. He's playing along. So as you can see, I can adapt this game to have him play with us by having him count fingers. And I think you'll see it a little bit later. I actually will put up fingers and have him take away so that he can do the subtraction. You'll see on the board there's a couple places where there's like a +2 or a -1 where you have to go back and forth. But this game moves pretty fast, which, like I was explaining before, can be nice when you don't have a whole lot of time. Oh, here's the North Pole card. She has to count something on the board, and she has to roll a dice and see if it's what the number is, and then she gets to decide whether she gets to go forward or not. Some of these challenge cards involve figuring out an odd or even number. Some of them involve counting something on the board and adding a number to it. Some of them even involve doing something, and I think we'll catch one of those in a minute. So like I said, we can adapt this game for our 3-year-old. We can play up through, adults have played this game, and it's not something that's super boring to play along the way. It comes with 5 pieces to be able to do your turns, but I think that you could adapt this to use a coin or something as a counter, and you could actually put more people in this game. This is one of those types of games that it's not going to get old because you have the math facts to practice every time. Oh, here's his turn on his challenge card. He had to spin around 7 times, and if he did it, he got to go forward 2 spaces or something. That was his challenge. We had a lot of fun with this game. It works for a lot of different ages, and I got to pretend that I was a polar bear. The kids had to guess what I was, pretending I was an Arctic animal. So we enjoy games that practice facts that they just should know in a fun way. So we really enjoyed that game from Clever Fox Play. Okay, this game we are going to play is called Snowman. We call it Snowman. It's like Hangman, but instead of putting someone on a gallows, we actually build a snowman. So we, the first letter that was guessed there, I put up on the board. And then as they guess letters that aren't there, I create a snowman. So I'll make a circle for the head. The next time I'll make a circle for the body and then a circle for the bottom. You can decide whether you're going to put how many things you're going to put on it, whether there be eyes, whether there be a hat. Our family does a hat and eyes and buttons and arms. And you're trying not to get the snowman built before you guess the letter puzzle. And sometimes we'll do this with a single word. Sometimes we will do this with a sentence like I have here. And we do this with all ages. It's great because even the 3-year-old has been playing this for a while, and he knows some of his letters. He's now learning their sounds, but before he even knew their sounds, he knew some letters, and so he would guess letters also. And so we find this to be very enjoyable to do with everybody. This is also a game that we have found is very good to use if you do like, what's it called? Like FaceTime or video calls with like grandparents. This is a great game to play because when COVID first started, my mother lived in the backyard. There's my mom there. You'll see her on the couch. She comes and visits all the time. And when COVID first happened and we didn't know how sick people were getting, how contagious it was, we were choosing to just distance from her. She worked at the hospital. And so we would put up a gate and she would sit out in another room that we didn't use, the porch that we now use, we didn't used to use. We'd put a gate there so the kids couldn't get to her, and she could come. And this was one of the games we could play. The kids could do the letters on the board and we could all interact with each other. And so it's a great game to play over a video call or something. And you can see I used grandma in this. You could use this if you are the type of family that does spelling words, or if you want to do like words from Bible study that you've been doing, words you're learning in your history lessons, all of that. It's a great way to just review words, review spelling, and everybody can get involved in it. So you see, we have a snowman forming because some of the kids didn't know. At this point, some of the kids already knew what the sentence was. but there's my snowman, there's my hat. You can make it as decorative as you want, but we also were going through this fast. But we really like to play games as a family, and this is one that gets everybody involved. So some of the kids weren't in the room at the time, but we like to also use this. We'll sometimes do book titles or movie titles, and the kids can get a book, or sometimes we'll write the words for them if they are a younger child. Like the 5-year-old doesn't know how to spell very well, so sometimes I'll write his on a piece of paper so he can be checking to make sure that he's putting the pieces in the right spot. So we played that game. Yay, they figured it out. And then the last game that we're going to do is we are learning music as a family. And so I wrote out cards that are different notes, and we are practicing counting them out. So you'll see they'll clap and then hold it if it's more than one beat, or they'll hold up their hands for their rest. And so this is a game we play that they have to make up different measures of music for me or for themselves. And sometimes I will make up measures of music and then I will clap them. And they have to see if I did it right or if I messed up. Because sometimes the best way to practice things with your kids is to have them see if you can do it correctly. And kids, sometimes, like with music, sometimes you hit a wrong note or you actually don't count it right. And kids love to see that it's okay to fail. And how do you deal with that failure? If you don't do it right the first time, do you stomp and fuss and cry because you got it wrong? Or do you say, oh, let me try again. Let's do it again. And showing the kids that it's okay to mess up. It's okay to enjoy the time together. And it's not anyone's fault that you mess up. It's just that's how we learn. We try, and try again. And sometimes we have to keep trying, but everyone's going to get better. So thank you for joining us for this day.
So I hope you enjoyed those games. Go check out Clever Fox Play if you're interested in that board game that we were playing. We actually, the quality of it is really good. It seems really strong and like it's gonna hold together well, and all the kids really like it. If you like videos like this, where I show you kind of some of the fun stuff we do to add to our school day, let me know below and we'll try to do more of them. See you guys next time on Herding Little Cows to the Glory of God. Bye-bye.